Alright, so here's another project I got completed this weekend. This is a beer rack for a friend of mine. He wanted something, he really enjoys a lot of different kinds of beers in bomber bottles, so he wanted something that would hold these beers. So I found something online that he liked. Basically wanted to take the design and make it a little bit of my own, so I made it a little chunkier and using sapele wood here again. This is 1.75 inch thick, and I had to glue up a piece for the center. So it's basically an I-beam kind of frame, and I just drilled 4-inch diameter holes to be the holders for the different beers. So it ended up holding 14 beers total. So I'm just sanding it all here, trying to get it nice and clean on the beer holders. I used a 4-inch hole saw, and it kind of left the edges a little rough. So I made the top of each hole straight, so you could just take a beer in and out, and then the bottom there's like a little lip so that it can't roll out. So I'm just getting this all done here, cutting them out. Gotta be careful with it. This was kind of a little tricky to get that done on that side, so I accidentally lost the very first video showing bringing the wood in and getting it all planed down and everything. But it's pretty much the same process. Just go through it, clean it all up, trim the ends, and then bought a trim router for this job, so I didn't have to manhandle a big router. Did a 1/8 inch round over on everything. So I put it together, got everything centered up, drilled some countersink holes. So I ended up using 3/8 inch by 16 by 2.5 inch bolts to hold it together. Again, brass inserts so I could screw it together and also take it apart. So here I am trying to get it aligned, trying to get the things in line here and drill the holes and put the brackets in. So I ended up trying to make a different base out of steel. I wanted to make a tube steel base, which I ended up scrapping in the end because I put it together and it didn't have enough weight. I didn't want it to tip over because once you got enough beers in there, it's going to be kind of heavy. So this was my attempt at making this. It ended up being the right size, but after putting it on the base, it just didn't have enough weight. So I had a piece of C-channel, 10-inch wide. I think it was like 14 inches long, and it's 15.3 pounds per foot. And it ended up being enough weight, and so I ended up putting this on there, and it ended up having a little bit of a stand on it. I spent some time really thinking about what I wanted to do on the top. I had pieces of steel, I had a piece of wood. I wasn't sure. So in the end, it ended up being an 1/8 inch thick piece of steel that I used magnets on the top. I brought my wife in and asked her because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But so I got that piece, and it's just there so you could put something on the top of the thing if you wanted. So I got some simple magnets from Lowe's and countersunk those in with a Forstner bit, and it'll hold it on in place. So also I was building a little kubi for my bed frame at the same time since I had the same amount of wood. So this is the final finish sanding, doing 120 grit. So finishing sanding up, I ended up routering that little side kubi for her iPad and whatnot. And getting that done. Now I'm applying the tung oil. I like tung oil on pretty much everything because it's a natural finish and dries really well. And if you have any problems, you can just reapply it. Here's some pictures of it finished out in the sun. I think it came out pretty good. I liked it. It was a nice color, and it's a pretty simple stand. So there it is. Hope you enjoyed.